Most men have no real clue where they stand with women. They often assume that if women aren't openly pursuing them, it must mean they are not attractive. But here's the surprising truth. The men who are actually the most appealing often don't even realize it. Attraction isn't always obvious. Women rarely announce it. They communicate it through subtle cues, body language, energy, and patterns we're conditioned to overlook. Today, I want to help you see yourself differently. If you've ever doubted your appeal, questioned whether anyone notices you, or felt confused by mixed signals, this could completely shift your perspective. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever walked into a room and felt invisible? Replayed an interaction in your head wondering, was she interested or was I imagining it? Maybe you've told yourself, I'm just not that guy. Breathe with me. You're not alone in this uncertainty. In fact, men who question themselves the most are often the ones women feel most drawn to. Not because of arrogance or flashy moves, but because of presence. Presence creates magnetism. Here's something many men never realize. Women experience attraction differently than men do. Men usually feel it as a direct urge. See someone attractive and think, I need to approach her. Women experience it as awareness first. They notice your energy before deciding how to act. They observe, position themselves, and signal subtly. They rarely make bold declarations. If you've been waiting for overt compliments or obvious advances, you might be missing the signs entirely. Women signal, they don't announce. And once you start noticing these signals, everything changes. You stop chasing validation and start recognizing the reality of your own appeal. One of the clearest indicators is lingering eye contact. Most men completely miss this. You might be in a coffee shop or at a social gathering when your eyes meet hers. Instead of looking away immediately, she holds that gaze just a fraction longer than normal, then looks away. That tiny pause is huge. It signals interest. Often, she'll look back again, a silent check to see if you noticed. That second glance isn't accidental. It's confirmation. Another sign is proximity. Attractive men often notice women gravitating toward them or joining the circle they're in. This isn't random. Women create opportunity. Simply being nearby increases comfort and connection, and psychologically, exposure makes interactions feel more positive. Presence and energy draw awareness naturally. Then, there's how people respond when you speak. Conversations quiet down. People orient their bodies toward you. That's the halo effect in action. Presence and calm authority create a magnetic pull, especially for men over 50, where maturity often outweighs youthful showmanship. Slow your speech, lower your tone slightly, pause intentionally, and notice how attention naturally increases. Mirroring is another subtle but powerful indicator. When someone mirrors your posture, gestures, or rhythm, it shows alignment on a nervous system level, a sign of comfort and attraction. Small, subtle mirroring enhances connection and deepens rapport. Pay attention to the nature of compliments you receive. Surface-level remarks about appearance are common, but comments like, I love your energy, or I feel comfortable around you, indicate true attraction rooted in presence and emotional safety. Observe repeated glances from others, quick looks across a room, subtle checks to see if you notice. These are signals of awareness and recognition, not coincidence. How other men respond to you is equally telling. Respectful attention, deference, or seeking your opinion signals social value. Women notice this instinctively, as social proof heavily influences attraction. True confidence doesn't need to dominate, it stabilizes. All these signals, eye contact, proximity, presence, mirroring, meaningful compliments, recognition from others, together reveal your magnetism. Attraction isn't always loud or obvious. It's subtle, layered, and often invisible until you learn to see it. You're not unseen. You've simply been trained to overlook what's always been. Women often assume you have options, and that assumption changes the dynamic entirely. You might hear comments like, I can't believe you're still single, or playful jabs like, you probably say that to everyone. These remarks usually show up early, long before exclusivity is even a topic. Why? Because you radiate calm confidence instead of desperation. Desperation has a very distinct energy. It shows up in overtexting, over-explaining, constantly seeking reassurance, or chasing validation. Abundance energy, on the other hand, is steady. It's patient. It doesn't rush connection. It doesn't cling. Women sense this, not with logic, but with their instincts. When you carry yourself as someone comfortable, whether she chooses you or not, she experiences you as higher value. And here's the interesting part. You don't actually need multiple options. If you carry the energy of having them, people perceive it as truth. Perception shapes reality. When women sense that others find you desirable, curiosity naturally increases. Social proof amplifies attraction. So ask yourself, do you act like someone grateful for crumbs? Or like someone who chooses carefully? That alone can shift your dating life. If you've noticed even 2 or 3 of the signs we've discussed, lingering eye contact, proximity, mirroring, respect from others, you're already far more attractive than you've believed. The difference isn't about looks, it's about ownership. Attraction isn't something you create by trying harder. It emerges when you release self-doubt and allow your natural steadiness to show. Let me tell you about Daniel. He was 64, divorced for 7 years, and convinced the world had passed him by. He thought women no longer noticed him. At his gym, women would consistently choose equipment near him. A barista remembered his name and leaned in when talking. At community events, women laughed at his jokes and asked thoughtful follow-up questions. He dismissed all of it because none of it was explicit pursuit. What he didn't realize was that his calm presence, steady eye contact, and composed energy were quietly magnetic. He simply didn't feel attractive internally, so he ignored the signs around him. That's confirmation bias. We notice what aligns with our beliefs and overlook what doesn't. Changing this starts internally. Your brain forms identity through repetition. If you've spent years thinking, I'm average, or women don't notice me, those neural pathways become automatic. But identity can be updated. Begin by recording small moments of positive social feedback daily. A smile, prolonged glance, someone leaning in while you speak, a compliment about your energy. Don't analyze, just note them. Over time, your brain collects evidence that contradicts old limiting beliefs. True masculine presence isn't about dominance, it's about regulating your nervous system. Emotional stability signals safety, and safety is deeply attractive. Practice simple exercises. 3 slow breaths before entering a room, relax your jaw, drop your shoulders. Your body's calm state changes the way people feel around you even before you speak. Avoid overcompensating with exaggerated gestures, forced confidence, or trying to amplify signals artificially. Authenticity is felt instantly, and self-doubt leaks through subtle behaviors. Over-explaining, unnecessary apologies, nervous laughter, breaking eye contact too quickly. Often, confidence is subtraction, not addition. Stop filling every silence. Stop seeking constant reassurance. Stop assuming disinterest too soon. Silence is powerful. Holding a brief pause, letting tension breathe, even extending eye contact just a second longer, builds anticipation rather than awkwardness. Proximity, mirroring, social respect, assumptions of abundance, they all signal value. The final piece is ownership. Ownership isn't ego, it's alignment. It's entering a room knowing you belong, speaking with calm authority, choosing rather than hoping to be chosen. Ask yourself, if you truly believed in your own energetic attractiveness, how would you act differently tomorrow? Would you smile more freely? Approach more calmly? Stop overthinking interactions? That internal shift changes everything. Attraction isn't loud, it's felt. Men who chase desperately often repel, while those who stabilize quietly draw people in. Over time, this awareness rewires your behavior. You stop seeking validation and start recognizing interest. You stop shrinking and start choosing. Presence, emotional steadiness, deliberate pacing, and selective engagement create natural polarity and attraction. The men who move with calm certainty, not haste or neediness, invite attention effortlessly. Attraction unfolds subtly, through eye contact, mirroring, social proof, energy, and proximity. It doesn't require fireworks, just awareness. Women notice it, respond to it, and gravitate toward it. When you internalize this, dating stops being about chasing. It becomes about discerning, choosing, and embodying the version of yourself that women are already drawn to.